All right. Let's get something pulled up here. Jeremiah 8. All right, we got a good bit for Jeremiah 8 in the Dead Sea Scrolls. That's good. So, Septuagint. Pull that up. And all right, let me share this out. Happy Sabbath, everybody. Yeah. All right. Hope everybody's having a good Sabbath. Got to cut out the background noise. All right. Scale. Yeah, I got the scale. Go back. 75. Yeah, that'd probably be better. Oh, I lost my mouse. Okay, here we go. All right. Yeah, I think that's better. All righty. Why is it look? Looks like my screen has got a filter on it. Yep. There we go. No wonder I was having so much trouble. That's better. That's a lot better. All right. Now, if I can get the sound working properly, I'll be all right. All right. So it's good. Good. All right. Happy Sabbath again. Welcome. I'm Lee. It's a scripture study. So if you got anything to share to add to it, please do. And yeah, so that's at 125. Yeah, we'll just keep it at that. All right, so Jeremiah 8, at that time, says Yahuwah, they will bring out the bones of the kings of Yehuda, the bones of his princes, the bones of the priests, the bones of the prophets, and the bones of the inhabitants of Jerusalem out of their graves. They will spread them before the sun, the moon, and all the host army of the sky, which they have loved, which they have served, after which they have walked, which they have sought, and which they have worshipped. They will not be gathered or be buried. They will be for dung on the surface of the earth. Death will be chosen rather than life by all the residue that remain of this evil family, that remain in all the places where I have driven them, says Yahuwah of armies. So yeah, that's not in that manuscript. So this scroll here, I believe it was written, they added it to the margin, to the center of the scroll. This particular part here doesn't mean it wasn't in the other Jeremiah scroll. Maybe they just missed it and then they added it back in because they forgot to have it in there or to write it in. So happy Sabbath, trust y'all. Hope you're having a good day today. All right, so let's go to Jeremiah 4. And this is the Septuagint translation. Let me zoom in a little bit here. And the word of Yahuwah. Oh, that's the wrong one. All right, 8. There we go. For thus saith Yahuwah, shall not he that falls arise, or he that turns away, shall he not turn back again? Why then have the people of Jerusalem fallen back by perpetual backsliding? They cling to deceit. They refuse to return. That's return to the covenant. Cling to deceits, cling to not God's law. I listened and heard, but they didn't say what is right. No one repents of his wickedness, saying, what have I done? Everyone turns to his course as a horse that rushes headlong in the battle. That's a recurring theme. They didn't say what is right because we're coming out of the nations and we're trying, but we don't really comprehend what is right. Maybe a little bit. Yes, the stork in the sky knows her appointed times. The turtle dove, the swallow, and the crane observe the time of their coming, but my people don't know Yahuwah's law. How do you say we are wise and Yahuwah's law is with us? But behold, the false pen of the scribes has worked falsely. So if you want to know Yahuwah's law and how to properly do it, just remove books like Jubilees, especially the law of God. It is Torah, and it does give us the instructions. But Jubilees is not the only one, because hey, it's Lukey. Happy Sabbath. Let's see, where's it at? Oh yeah. So here, I don't recommend scholarly books a whole lot, but this goes through and shows how they interpret the law in the Dead Sea Scrolls. And they'll put Jubilees after the canon, even though the canon is just copies too. But Jubilees is before. So Jeremiah and Isaiah used precepts that were already in Jubilees, right? I don't know why my face is so dark over there. But yeah, you gotta read it for yourselves, and it's Yah that opens eyes and ears. You know, it's not us. We might tell somebody something, but sometimes less telling is better. If they're not open to hear, then yeah. Yeah, so if you want to know God's law, proper interpretation, so the people in the Dead Sea Scrolls, the Levites, had all the removed books. They had everything that they needed to interpret and walk out God's law properly. And because they were a holy community, the angels and God dwelt among them, not like us, right? So they had to, if they want to be a holy community and not have God depart from their presence, then they would have to walk it out appropriately. So there was no agree to disagree, or we'll let that slide, or, you know, things had to be addressed and correction had to be made. And when we go to the second Exodus, and, you know, I guess a lot of people don't realize that, but we're not in covenant right now. So when we go up on the mount, like the first time, and boy, that's really small. Like the first time, and this is when the rubber meets the road. Some of us are kind of getting a glimpse of what's going to happen. So it'll help you be better prepared. But Ezekiel 20:37, I mean, you can read the full chapter here, but go over here. I really can't stand pop-ups. So here I'll bring you into the wilderness of people, and there will I plead with you face to face. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith Yahuwah God. So when he brings you out of the countries to go back in, I will cause you to pass under the rod and bring you into the bond of the covenant. Enoch chapter 1, he comes down on Mount Sinai just like the first time. When we agree to what he says, that's when the heat gets turned up. Once we agree to it, we're bound to it. And then he can start dishing out punishment. And I will purge out among you the rebels, them that transgress against me. So people are going to agree, but they're not going to do it. And I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn. So they're going to come out to the Exodus, but they're not going to enter the land of Israel. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah. Right? So it's kind of important right now. I've kind of been hard on people to an extent, but, you know, it's important right now to kind of get an idea of what's going on and what to expect, so we're not blindsided. Because if you know what he expects going into it, or you kind of got an idea, then you're going to expect it. But there's people that don't have an idea, that have a completely different idea, have their own idea of what's going on, not what Yah says. They're going to it's like setting yourself up for failure, right? If you know what's coming and you prepare yourself spiritually and you're ready, you're going to have an easier time. If you're not prepared, you got a different idea, and something else happens, you're like, that's not right. You're going to fight against it. It's going to be very difficult. Some people are going to get destroyed. So just putting that out there, you know, it's, we need to learn now. It would be wise. And so it's not just this, because there's a lot more to this than just the Damascus document. There's tons of other stuff, but the Damascus document gives you some rules for how to keep Sabbath, especially, and to keep you from being this dude right here. So yeah, people now be like, he gathered sticks, so what? See, Numbers 15:32, while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day. People are like, that's no big deal. You're just gathering sticks. And they found him gathering sticks, brought him unto Moses and Aaron, unto all the congregation. That's what you do, right? And 2 or 3 witnesses establishes a matter. So if somebody sins, you got 2 witnesses, you bring them in, they testify against him, they find him guilty, boom, you're done. And they put him in war because it was not declared what should be done to him. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, the man shall surely be put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp. That's pretty harsh. You ever seen anybody stoned to death? Yeah. Happy Sabbath, Rachel. Yep. So it's not going to be pretty. How do you say we are wise and Yahuwah's law is with us? Behold, the false pen of the scribes has worked falsely. Removing books, editing canon, and the more you study the removed stuff, and especially like Jubilees, Enoch, stuff that was canon before, and Dead Sea Scrolls, and you get the precepts, and you can see where they've kind of edited our canon to match their stuff. You know what I mean? So the wise men are disappointed. They are dismayed and trapped. Behold, they have rejected Yahuwah's word. What kind of wisdom is in them? What kind of wisdom is in them, right? Is it Yah's wisdom? If you have Yah's wisdom, you don't reject Yahuwah's word, right? When he tells you, don't do your own pleasure on the Sabbath. Rejected. Don't bear burdens, Jeremiah 17, Isaiah 58, Jubilees 2, Jubilees 50, Exodus 16. Yeah, because that's the big one. Most people in the Torah community coming out of Christianity know not to fornicate, not to murder, you know, stuff like that. But then it comes to Sabbath and you're like, well, that's not, you know, or not worship other gods, which, you know, Christmas and all that stuff. Therefore, I'll give their wives to others, and their fields to those who will possess them. For everyone from the least even to the greatest is given to covetousness. So they were working for gain on this, ignoring the Sabbaths and working for gain, right? So coveting. From the prophet even to the priest, everyone deals falsely. They have healed the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace. Yeah, shalom, shalom. Really? Were they ashamed when they had committed abomination? No, they were not at all ashamed. They couldn't blush. Therefore, they will fall among those who fall. In the time of their visitation, they will be cast down, says Yahuwah. 12. That's kind of missing there in the Septuagint. Let's see. Learn how to type. Same in Lamit. I will surely gather them, says Yahuwah. There are no grapes on the vine, nor figs on the fig tree. Even the leaves are withered. What I gave them has passed away from them. So you know in the Gospels where he cursed the fig tree that didn't bear fruit, and grapes on the vine, the vineyard's Israel. There's no fruit. So what I gave them has passed away from them. So the little bit they had is gone. Why do we sit still? Assemble yourselves and let us enter the strong cities, and let us be cast out there, for God has cast us out. Make us drink water of gall, because we have sinned before him. We sinned before him, right? What's sin? And you can go to it's all over the so-called Old Testament, but sometimes people don't take definitions from the Old Testament. So here, 1 John 3:4, whoever commits sin transgresses the law, for sin is transgression of the law. We assembled our peace, but there was no prosperity, for a time of healing, but behold anxiety. We shall hear the neighing of his swift horses out of Dan. The whole land quaked at the sound of the neighing of his horses. And he shall come and devour the land and the fullness of it, the city and them that dwell in it. For behold, I send forth against you deadly serpents, which cannot be charmed, and they shall bite you mortally with the pain of your distressed heart. That's interesting. He did that in the first Exodus. If I can remember where it's at, Exodus. So Exodus 7, no. Yeah, so Numbers 21:6, Yahuwah sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. You can expect a repeat. Behold, there is a sound of the cry of the daughter of my people from a land afar off. Is not Yahuwah in Zion? Let me go back over here. Yeah, zoom in a little bit. Oh, that I would comfort myself against sorrow. My heart is faint within me. Behold, the voice of the cry of the daughter of my people from a land that is far off, very far off. Isn't Yahuwah in Zion? Isn't her king in her? That's Jerusalem. Just read that day in 2 Corinthians 2:17. Says, trust Yah. Scorpions in Revelations 2. Yep. And Luke, Ecclesiastes 1:9. Why have they provoked me to anger with their graven images and with foreign idols? 19 to 21. The summer is gone, the harvest is past, and we are not saved. For the hurt of the daughter of my people, I am hurt. I'm worn. Dismay has taken hold of me. Is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no physician there? Why then isn't the health of the daughter of my people recovered? That's Israel. 22. Who will give water to my head and a fountain of tears to my eyes? Then would I weep from this people, my people day and night, even for the slain of the daughter of my people. Also, so Enoch. Wow, that's zoomed in. Way in. Index 10. It's a lot in the end here. Enoch 95. Oh, that mine eyes were a cloud of waters, that I might weep over you and pour down my tears as a cloud of waters, so so I might rest from my trouble of heart. Who has permitted you to practice reproaches and wickedness, and so judgment shall overtake you, sinners. Fear not the sinners, you righteous, for again will Yahuwah deliver them into your hands. He's writing to the elect at the end, that you may execute judgment upon them according to your desires. Woe to you who fulminate anathemas, which cannot be reversed. Healing shall therefore be far from you because of your sins. 95. Sometimes the old language is a little hard to understand. Utter anathemas. Yeah, it says the same thing. Oh, this is pretty cool too. I don't know if I've shown people that Damascus document, and this is Timothy Lee's translation, but you got the Hebrew on one side and English on the other. Pretty cool. Enoch there. Where's that? Enoch 95. Pronounce anathemas. So if same thing, uses anathemas. All right. It's curses, the definition in English. Woe to you who fulminate curses which cannot be reversed. Healing shall therefore be far from you because of your sins. So Messiah said, curse not, right? Let's see. Woe to you lying witnesses and those who weigh out injustice, for suddenly shall you perish. That's false witness. When someone says false statements and weigh out injustice against God's law, that's injustice. Woe to you sinners, for you persecute the righteous, for you shall be delivered up and persecuted because of injustice, and heavy shall its yoke be upon you. So 9. Jeremiah 9. Oh, that my head were waters. Okay, so that's Septuagint starts 9 and 8. Oh, that I had in the wilderness a lodging place of wayfaring men, that I might leave my people and go from them. Qumran community preparing the way in the wilderness. For they are all adulterers, an assembly of treacherous men. They bend their tongue as their bow for falsehood. They have grown strong in the land, but not for truth. Psalm 119, 142. God's law is truth. For they proceed from evil to evil, and they don't know me, says Yahuwah. 3. Says, so this manuscript, Jeremiah C, says Yahuwah of armies, or Yahuwah of hosts. You'll see that in Enoch. Everyone beware of his neighbor and don't trust in any brother, for every brother will utterly supplant. Every neighbor will go around with slanders. Everyone will deceive their neighbors and will not speak the truth. So there's very few speaking the truth of the law. They have taught their tongue to speak lies. They weary themselves committing lawlessness, iniquity. Your habitation is in the middle of deceit. Through deceit, they refuse to know me, says Yahuwah. How does it say you know him? Go back to 1 John. By this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and keep his commandments. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. His commandments are not grievous. Whosoever is born of God overcomes the world, and this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. Faith equals obedience. It's also love of God. It's 1 John 4. First John 2, maybe. Let's go back. 2. Yeah, he that saith I know him keeps not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. So God's law is not in him. He makes it a point to say, I write no new commandment unto you, but an old commandment which you have from the beginning. Then he says a new commandment, right? You hate your brother if you don't rebuke, if you don't tell him, look, you're breaking God's law. He that hates his brother is in darkness and walks in darkness and knows not whither he goeth, because that darkness has blinded his eyes. So those that are in darkness don't even know they're in darkness. Maybe it's 1 John 3. Whoever abideth in him does not break God's law. That's in there. Let's see. I'm going to find it. I read it already. 1 John 5:3. Right. Okay. I'll go back. So 6, 7, verse 7. Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah, behold, I will try them with fire and prove them, for I will do thus because of the wickedness of the daughter of my people. Their tongue is a wounding arrow, the words of their mouth are deceitful. One speaks peaceably to his neighbor, but in himself retains enmity. Lots of shaloming going on, speaking peaceably, which is not a bad thing, but it can be. Their tongue is a deadly arrow. It speaks deceit. One speaks peaceably to his neighbor, but in his heart he waits to ambush him. Right. It's hard to keep up with going back and forth. Shouldn't I punish them for these things, says Yahuwah? Shouldn't my soul be avenged on a nation such as this? What nation? Israel. I will weep and wail for the mountains and lament for the pastures of the wilderness, because they are burned up so that no one passes through. Men can't hear the voice of the livestock. Both the birds of the sky and the animals have fled. They are gone. I'll make Jerusalem heaps, a dwelling place of jackals. I'll make the cities of Yehuda a desolation without inhabitant. Who is wise enough to understand this? Who is he to whom the mouth of Yahuwah has spoken, that he may declare it? That's a question. Who is it? Why has the land perished and burned up like a wilderness, so that no one passes through? Yahuwah says, because they have forsaken my law. There you go. Straight up, straight to the point. Which I have set before them, and have not obeyed my voice, neither walked therein, but have walked after the stubbornness of their own heart, and after the Baals which their fathers taught them, or the Lord's. 1 John 5, yeah. Yeah, I read it. Therefore, Yahuwah of armies, or Yahuwah of hosts, the God of Yisrael, says, behold, I will feed them, even this people, with wormwood, and give them water of gall to drink. Where do we see that at? Let's see here. Revelation. Revelation 8:10, the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon a third part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. Seems kind of like the plague in Exodus, where they turned the water into blood. He turned the water into blood. For I'll scatter them also among the nations. So this is all what Israel did previously, right? And then he scatters them in the nations, whom they nor their fathers have known, and I will send the sword after them until I have consumed them. So nations their fathers have not known. Who would that be? They knew of Egypt. They knew of Assyria, the lands around them, right? Nations their fathers have not known. She keeps Chris, so comment. She knows Christmas is an ancient satanic festival, keeps it because it's the only time people recognize JC. That's dangerous. Yep. That's not good. But you really can't control what people do, so just witness and move on. 16. That's all you can do. 16 to 23. What shocked me was when I saw that Kingdom in Context was saying it's not commanded against. Okay. The Christians not realizing that the ancient faith is Nazarenes, not Christians. And there's no way that they would, if their family was doing Christmas, they probably wouldn't even, they would cut ties completely, probably. Which I haven't done that. I just don't participate in it. My family knows I don't participate in it. I'm not saying God said it's okay, like they are. It blows me away. 16:23. And let them take up lamentation for you. Let's see, thus saith you, call you the mourning women, let them come, send the wise women, and let them utter their voice, let them take up lamentation for you, and let your eyes pour down tears, and your eyelids drops water. Sounds like Joel 2. For voice of lamentation has been heard in Zion, but Joel 2 is end times. So how are we become as Jerusalem? How are we become wretched? We are greatly ashamed, for we have forsaken the land and have abandoned our tabernacles. Hear now, you women, the word of Yahuwah, and let your ears receive the words of his mouth. So the bride is Jerusalem, Israel, right? Hear now, you women. Teach your daughters lamentation, every woman her neighbor a dirge, for death has come up through your windows. It has entered into our land to destroy the infants without, kind of like the plague in Egypt, and the young men from the streets. So Yah's got a way that he operates, right? Yeah, King is out of context. And it makes me sad because Sean knows that Jubilees is good, Enoch's good. He understands got to be circumcised for Passover. He understands some things, but way off on the Christmas topic, way off. Right. So we see Yah does things a certain way. He's striking the waters to kill people, just like the Exodus. He's killing the infants, just like the Exodus. What do you think is going to happen in the second Exodus? If he's got a certain way that he does things, what's going to happen again? He already said he's going to kill them. All right. This is God talking. This ain't me talking. This, how do you think he's going to purge out the rebels? Right? The carcasses of the men shall be for an example on the face of the field of your land, like grass after the mower, and there shall be none to gather them. Your dead's going to be all over. Thus says Yahuwah, let not the wise man boast in his wisdom, let not the strong man boast in his strength, and let not the rich man boast in his wealth, but let him that boast boast in this, the understanding and knowing that I am Yahuwah that exercises mercy and judgment and righteousness upon the earth. For in these things is my pleasure, saith Yahuwah. So you don't have mercy without judgment and righteousness. You don't have judgment and righteousness without mercy. You don't have righteousness without judgment and mercy. It goes together, right? Where's that at? Psalm 44:8, in God we boast all the day long. Praise thy name forever, Selah. Right? So here's the Hebrew instead of the Greek. I am Yahuwah who exercises loving kindness, justice, and righteousness. Loving kindness has like a different connotation, or in Hebrew it's clan loyalty, right? It's not just mercy, okay? He exercises love and kindness to those in covenant, his sons, Israel. That's the context. For I delight in these things, says Yahuwah. But if you're not walking in his ways, you can forget it. You're not going to get the loving kindness. 24, 25. 26. Sorry for all the scrolling. Behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, when I will visit upon all the circumcised their uncircumcision, on Egypt, and on Idumea, and on Edom, and on the children of Ammon, and on the children of Moab, and on every one that shaves his face round about. Even them that dwell in the wilderness, for all the Gentiles are uncircumcised in flesh, and all the house of Israel are uncircumcised in their hearts. Can't have one without the other. So cut the corners of their hair off in the Dead Sea Scrolls, who dwell in the wilderness, for all the nations are uncircumcised. That's what Gentiles is. And the house of Israel uncircumcised in heart. So that's part of it. When he brings you into the wilderness, you'll be circumcised in the flesh, but you better also be circumcised in the heart, in the mind, excuse me. One and the other, not one or the other, like we think about things. Grow that beard. So 10. Oh, look, and we're going to do Jeremiah 10. We were just talking about that. In this scroll in the Masoretic text, Jeremiah 10:11 is in the Aramaic, unlike the rest of Jeremiah, which is in Hebrew. However, in this scroll, the words to them are spelled in the Hebrew manner rather than the Aramaic manner. So the Aramaic manner is a later addition to Jeremiah. And for to them, yeah. So the scroll does have enough space for verses 5 through 8 in the Masoretic text, and probably indicates that the scroll matches the shorter LXX reading. So it does not have. So this scroll, Dead Sea Scroll, agrees with the Septuagint against the Masoretic text, where these verses do not have enough room in the scroll. This verse is in Aramaic in the scroll and in the Masoretic text. LXX reading is supplied rather than Masoretic text. LXX reading is supplied rather than Masoretic text. LXX reading supplies rather than Masoretic text. So it looks like from Jeremiah 10 that my Brenton Septuagint is in the bedroom. So here's my Thompson Septuagint, 1960. So I don't use it very much because it's pretty old. But it tells you in the footnotes here. Let's see. We got a lot of lies to unpack, put it that way. Most people don't want to go there. I want the truth, no matter what. So you can see here, and I'll just say it. I mean, it's whatever. Truth's truth, period. Feelings aside, preconceptions aside, what your daddy said aside, or, honor your parents. But if it don't match God's word, then incorrectly, forget it. Where's that here? Let's see. So, all right. So right here at the bottom of Jeremiah 25 in this 1960 edition, from this point on, the older Septuagint text of Jeremiah differs markedly from the order of the presently received text, revised in the Christian era by rabbinical scribes. So up to a certain point, see if you can read that or not. Why are you letting rabbinical scribes edit your text? Like, seriously. Why, oh why, oh why? That's not a good idea. Yeah, that's cool. Wrote a poem. That's very good. So this matches the Septuagint more than the Masoretic text. So we're going to jump over here, Jeremiah 10. And hear the word that Yahuwah speaks to you, O house of Israel. Thus says Yahuwah, don't learn the way of the nations. Don't be dismayed by the signs of the sky, for the nations are dismayed at them. So the way of the nations, right? What's this right here? Why, oh why, do they have this set up at the Vatican? Right? With their big old things sticking up in the sky. Their obelisk. Obelisk looks kind of like the Christmas tree. They stick their big old Christmas tree up, and we know the nations are not Yah fearing, right? Same thing in Washington, D.C. Big old Christmas tree stuck up. The pillar like a middle finger to God, right? Same thing on the church steeples, sticking up like a middle finger to God. Like, I mean, it is what it is, man. Come on. I ain't hating on nobody. It just is what it is. 3. Don't learn the ways of the nations. They're not doing Yah's ways, so why are we doing their ways? For the customs of the nations are vain. Let me go back over here. Are false. A tree cut from the forest is cut down. Did that when I was a little boy. We cut down a tree, we brought it in the house, decorated it for Christmas. We cut down a tree. Work with an axe by the hands of an artisan. Just because you buy one at the store now, a fake tree, and stick it up, doesn't make it any different. They deck it with silver and gold. What do you do with your Christmas tree? You deck it with silver and gold. I mean, they fasten it with hammers and nails. Y'all might do it different. That's what we did. So that it cannot move. So Dead Sea Scrolls, they fasten it with hammers and with nails so that it cannot move. So missing there 5. 12. Where's it at? 9. Come on. I'm doing Chase the translation. Their idols are like scarecrows in a cucumber field. They cannot speak. They have to be carried, for they cannot walk. Do not be afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, nor is it in them to do good. That's their idols. That's not the people. They can do evil. There's none like you, O Yahuwah. You are great, and your name is great in might. Who would not fear you, O King of the nations? For that is your due among all the wise ones of the nations, and in all their kingdoms there is no one like you. They are both stupid and foolish. The instruction given by idols is no better than wood. That's a pretty sharp rebuke. There is silver beaten into plates, which is brought from Tarshish, and gold from Uphaz, the work of the engraver and of the hands of the goldsmith. Their clothing is blue and purple. They are the work of skillful men. But Yahuwah is the true God. He is the living God and an everlasting king. So this happened before. Doesn't necessarily have to happen now for Christmas to be, different. That's what they did before. Now we get it at the store. Yahuwah is the true God. He is the living God and everlasting king. At his wrath, the earth trembles. The nations are unable to withstand his indignation. You shall say this to them: the gods that have not made the heavens and the earth will perish from the earth and from under the heavens. The gods that have not made the heavens and the earth. God has made the earth by his power, and he has established the world by his wisdom, and by his understanding he has stretched out the heavens. When he utters his voice, the waters in the heavens roar, and he causes the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. He makes lightnings for the rain, and brings the wind out of his treasuries. Every man has become brutish and without knowledge. Every goldsmith is disappointed by his engraved image, for his molten image is falsehood, and there's no breath in them. They are vanity, a work of delusion. In the time of their visitation, they will perish. He doesn't lie. So, what is it? 15 to 18. All right. The portion of Yaakov is not like these. That's interesting. That's missing from the Dead Sea Scroll. Some of these important parts are missing. Yeah, research scarecrows is not good. Yeah. The portion of Jacob is not like these, for he is the one who formed all things, and Israel is the tribe of his inheritance. Yahuwah of hosts is his name. Who's that? Okay, maybe getting a new keyboard was not such a good idea. John 1:3, all things were made by him. Without him was not anything made that was made. Made by him. That's singular, not them. It says him. In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. Right? Who was with God? Was with God, and he was God. One person. Colossians 1:20, and having made peace through the blood of his cross, or tree, by him to reconcile all things unto himself, who died on the cross, or the tree, Messiah Yahusha. By him I say, whether they be things in earth or things in heaven. Well, where's that at? I missed it. It is, I thought that was it. Yeah, okay. A couple verses before. Colossians 1:16, for by him were all things created. By who? One person. That are in heaven, that are in the earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. Who's he talking about? Who is the image of the invisible God? Who's invisible? The firstborn of every creature, Messiah Yahusha, the image of the Father in heaven. For by him, Messiah Yahusha, were all things created that are in heaven, that are on the earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions, principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. Right? It's pretty self-explanatory. That's who it's talking about. He is the one, him, one, is the one that formed all things. That does not mean he takes the place of his Father. That does not mean he is his Father. That does not mean it lessens the Father being the greatest glory of everything, the Ancient of Days, right? All glory goes to him. It does mean that this is talking about Messiah Yahusha. Plain simple. Gather up your bundle from the ground, O you who live under siege. For thus says Yahuwah, For Yahuwah says, Behold, I will sling out the inhabitants of the land at this time, and will distress them, that they may find your plague. That's interesting. Find your plague. 18. LXX reading. Yep. Matches the Dead Sea Scrolls. So that doesn't mean our modern LXX would match. Some of it does, but it's been edited as well. So 18. So they shall feel it. I'll bring distress on them so that they shall feel it. Woe is me because of my hurt. My wound is severe. But I said, truly, this is my punishment, and I must bear it. My tent has been destroyed, and all my cords are broken. My children and my flock are no more. There's no one to spread my tent anymore, to set up my curtains. That's talking about the temple. Son of David in the flesh. Son of David in the flesh. I haven't seen anything. So Rebuke Thy Kingdom asked, is he still the son of David? I haven't seen anything to disregard him coming in the flesh and being the son of David in the flesh. That does not negate the scriptures talking about him previously being more magnificent than anything we could possibly imagine, right? Save his father, right? But that doesn't negate him. That's where a lot of people get tripped up in the New Testament, separating him being in the flesh from him being in who he is, like the Son of God, right? So he's talking here, my tent has been destroyed. That's his temple. My cords have been broken. My children, that's Israel, and my flock. Who's the good shepherd in the New Testament? His flock, Israel, Messiah Yahusha, are no more. That's who's speaking here. There's no one to spread my tent anymore or set up my curtains. His temple. He's the one that came to the temple. Father, Ancient of Days, sitting on his throne in heaven, he didn't vacate his throne. He's sitting on his throne. Enoch. He doesn't vacate his throne to come down here. So 23, 20, 21. For the shepherds are stupid and do not inquire of Yahuwah. Therefore they have not prospered, and all their flock is scattered. So he set the Levites over the people, right? So they would shepherd the people. The voice of news, behold, it comes in a great commotion out of the north country to make the cities of Yehuda a desolation, a dwelling place of jackals. So Babylon. 22, 23. Yahuwah, I know that the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man who walks to direct his steps. We know who directs our steps. Well, yeah. Psalm 119, 133, order my steps in thy word, and let not any lawlessness have dominion over me. Right. So Psalm 85, 13, righteousness shall go before him and shall set us in the way of his steps. It says that he directs our steps somewhere. Follow his steps, Christ, right? The Old Testament and New Testament scriptures match up perfectly if you know what they're talking about. It says somewhere he directs our steps. Let's see. Directs our steps. Is it James? Psalm 16:9. A man's heart devises his way, but Yahuwah directs his steps. There we go. Proverbs 3. Thank you, Trust y'all. Yep. So 23. So Yah direct steps. So we have to bend our will, follow his will, right? 23. Pour out your wrath on the nations that do not know you. How they not know God? By not doing his commandments. And on the peoples that do not call on your name. You don't do his commandments, you don't know his name. For they have devoured Jacob, they have devoured him and consumed him, and have laid waste his habitation. Jerusalem. 2 Corinthians 5:16, wherefore henceforth know we no man after the flesh, yea, though we have known Christ after the flesh, yet now henceforth know we him no more. Yeah. Yep. So Hebrew. So they got a lot of footnotes in here. Q manuscript. I'm thinking it's Qumran manuscript. Greek Lax 10, 6-8. Qumran manuscript. Greek Lax 10:10. This verse is in Aramaic, right? So our scriptures are all over the place, but it's okay. Praise Yah. We'll get through it. Jeremiah 11. I think we got time for one more. The word that came to Jeremiah, Yirmiyahu, from Yahuwah, hear the words of this covenant. Speak to the people of Yehuda and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. You shall say to them, thus says Yahuwah, the Elohim of Israel, cursed be anyone who does not heed the words of this covenant, which I commanded your ancestors when I brought them out of the land of Egypt from the iron smelter, saying, listen to my voice. And I like the other translation better, like iron smelter. What are y'all talking about? All translation is commentary. From the iron smelter. Land of Egypt from the iron furnace. I like that better. Anyways. All right, I lost it now. From the iron smelter. Okay. Listen to my voice and do all that I command you, so shall you be my people, and I will be your God. If you don't do what he commands you, if we don't do what he commands us, he's not going to be our God. We're not going to be his people. It's not just grace, grace, mercy, mercy, milk, milk, shalom, shalom. That I may perform the oath that I swore to your ancestors to give them a land flowing with milk and honey, as at this day. Then I answered, so be it, Yahuwah. So what did Jeremiah say? Amen. And you have said to me, proclaim all these words in the cities of Yehuda, in the streets of Jerusalem. Yep, so Dead Sea Scrolls, it preserves his name. It doesn't have the Lord substituted. And this is just copying like cursed is the man who doesn't hear the words of this covenant. And when you don't shama in Hebrew, hear, you don't obey. Like you ask your children, did you hear me? When you tell them to do something, they don't do it. They didn't obey. Did you hear me? Right? All right, so I like that. He's got iron furnace here. But yeah, Deuteronomy 28, curses of the covenant. Right, that I may establish the oath which I swore to your fathers to give them the land. So this is important. The only reason that we're going to get anything in the second Exodus is because of his oath to the fathers. We just have to be obedient to receive it. He said, because I promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, I'm going to do it. Okay. Then answered I and said, Amen, Yahuwah. Yahuwah said to me, proclaim all these words in the cities of Yehuda. Hear the words of this covenant and do them. 6. Yeah, might as well state in that. 11. For I solemnly warned your ancestors when I brought them up out of the land of Egypt, warning them persistently, even to this day, saying, obey my voice, do what I say. Yet they did not obey or incline their ear, but everyone walked in the stubbornness of an evil will, their own will. So I brought them upon them all the words of this covenant, which I commanded them to do, but they did not. Ezekiel 20, second time. And Yahuwah said to me, conspiracy exists among the people of Yehuda and the inhabitants of Jerusalem. That reads a little different than some translations. They have turned back to the iniquities of their ancestors, lawlessness of old, who refused to heed my words. They have gone after other gods to serve them. The house of Israel and the house of Yehuda have broken the covenant that I made with their ancestors. Therefore, thus says Yahuwah, surely I am going to bring disaster upon them that they cannot escape. Though they cry out to me, I will not listen to them. Though they shout to me, then the cities of Yehuda and the inhabitants of Jerusalem will go and cry out to the gods to whom they make offerings, but they will never save them in the time of their trouble. For your gods have become as many as your towns, O Yehuda, and as many as the streets of Jerusalem are their altars to shame you have set up, altars to make offerings to Baal. 19. As for you, do not pray for this people, or lift up a cry, or pray on their behalf, for I will not listen when they call to me in the time of their trouble. What right has my beloved in my house when she has done vile deeds? Israel, my beloved. Anybody reading Song of Songs and scratching their head, who's this my beloved? There you go. Israel. Can vows and sacrificial flesh avert your doom? Can you then exalt? Yahuwah once called you a green olive tree, fair with goodly fruit, but with the roar of a great tempest he will set fire to it, and its branches will be consumed. Most people would say, oh, look, God's got anger issues. No, he's got righteous anger. Yahuwah of hosts, who planted you, has pronounced evil against you because of the evil that the house of Yisrael and the house of Yehuda have done, provoking me to anger by making offerings to Baal. It was Yahuwah who made it known to me, and I knew. Then you showed me their deeds. But I was like a gentle lamb that is led to the slaughter. I didn't know that they had devised plans against me, saying, let's destroy the tree with its fruit. Looks like it's talking about Jeremiah. So trees as men and fruit, we bear fruit, good or evil, and let's cut him off from the land of the living, that his name may no more be remembered. Be no more remembered, but Yahuwah of armies, who judges righteously, who tests the heart and the mind, I will see your vengeance on them, for to you I have revealed my cause. 20. Therefore, thus says Yahuwah concerning the people of Anathoth, who seek your life and say, you shall not prophesy in the name of Yahuwah, or you will die by our hand. So don't prophesy. Preach unto us smooth words, right? There will be prophets in the end that speak truth. That's the way Yah operates. Isaiah 30, that's end times prophecy. There's going to be people that he raises up. Where's it at? Sound doctrine. Sound doctrine. Yep. So here, 2 Timothy 4:3, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. They shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall be turned unto fables. But watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of thy ministry, for now I am ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. Where's it at? So 11 here. Therefore, thus says Yahuwah of hosts, I am going to punish them. The young men shall die by the sword, their sons and their daughters shall die by famine, and not even a remnant shall be left of them, for I will bring disaster upon the people of Anathoth, the year of their punishment. So this is previous. Jeremiah 12. Looks like it. Hope I didn't mess nothing up. Yep. Yeah, David was his beloved, Mount Ebal and Mount Gerizim. So it's about an hour in. I'm going to keep it to about an hour. I'm not going to. I like to keep it not too short, not too long. So got the 8 through 11. That's good. So if I got anything right and it was helpful, I hope it was helpful and a blessing to you. But if I got anything right, praise Yah. If I got anything wrong, that's my fault. It's not God's fault. So don't lay it to his charge. And yeah. So hope y'all have a blessed rest of the Sabbath. Thank you for coming out. And if I miss anything, let me know. If edify each other, exhort each other. If I messed up, let me know. Yep. All good, Red. God bless y'all. I do like reading that for some odd reason. Where's it at? Numbers. I used to like hearing Adam read this too. Number 6, Yahuwah bless you and keep you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace.